and there will be time at the end. Today's session is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it again in the future if you wish to. For today, what we're going to go over is we're basically going to go over the member portal. We're going to go through what is the non-member portal versus the members portal. What is the difference between the welcome messages and how do you set those up? What should you put in there? Some strategy behind that, and kind of going through the other functionalities within the basic of the portal. We won't go through any of the other modules. Those will be on separate webinars, as we will be doing all of the different modules throughout the year. So stay tuned for those, but we will kind of dive in. So first, let's go to Member 365. And we're going to start off at the actual login. So when a member goes to log in, the URL difference between Member 365's member portal and the CRM is up in the top. So I actually have both of these open. So there's the admin CRM login, and then there's what we call the sharing network, which is for the members. You want to make sure that you have this URL on your public website, so it's very easy for members to be able to navigate to the member portal. You want to make sure that it's very upfront and clear. Normally, most people put it in the top banner, so it's easy to find, or even also in the footer as a second option, but you just want to make sure that it's very apparent. If you are doing multiple logins, we do have options for single sign-on, so reach out to us if that's something you're interested in. There could be a cost associated to that. But you just, again, want to make sure it's very clear that this is the login for your memberships, for your events, and all that other fun stuff. On the login page, you can also add text. You can also add videos here. I did that for a couple of clients for how to log in for new members. Just making sure that you provide information they need, making sure that members are aware that they can always hit forgot password if they're having issues. The number one issue whenever launching the system for members is they copy and paste their password incorrectly. And you want to make sure that they know that you type it in if they're having difficulty, or to hit forgot password. If they do it 5 times, it does disable their account, and then you as an administrator have to go and re-enable it for security purposes. So just something to think about. Okay, so let's go into the CRM side. And I'm going to show you where you can add that text if you want to. You don't have to, but some people find it beneficial. All right, so how did I get to this page? So from the dashboard, we're going to go up to modules, and we're going to go down to member portal and go to settings. And this is where we get to all of the settings that we're going to go through today. Now, the first one I'm going to point out is the one for the login page, because we just saw that. So this is where I came in and I hit manage, and I then updated that language. So you can update that language. Again, it appears right next to here. If you want to embed videos, you can have a video there as kind of a welcome or a how-to so that people know what to expect. It's up to you, though, if you like to do that. Loom videos are great to add into the software for helping members. They're just quick, and you can get a free subscription to them. All right, so let's go back to settings. And we're just going to go kind of top to bottom as we go through the rest of these. So first is your banner. I've seen a lot of organizations do some really beautiful things with this. One of the most common themes that I've been seeing is that people actually do a long logo option. And so that you can use the specifications for the background image and then actually use it for the logo so that it's centered, and then just having the background the same color. You don't want it more than 200 pixels. Otherwise, it's too big, overwhelming, especially if somebody has a small screen, because then that's all they see. And then they don't see any of the welcome messaging below it. So you just want to make sure that when you are creating this, that you kind of think of your color scheming, your branding. If you do want to do a background image, it's totally fine. Just one thing you might want to be aware of is that if If somebody has a really large screen, the image will duplicate. We are working on making it expandable without reducing or making them pixelate, which is one of the problems we were having, which is why we have that. So just take that into consideration when you are doing designs. And so when you go into the portal itself, so I'm just going to jump up here. Now I can jump up here and I'm going to see the portal as a member. I have a staff membership. I have a couple other ones for test memberships. So when I log in here, I see the member portal as a member, not a non-member. So there is the two different views, member versus non-member. So once you've done your banner and you have that design, you want to start thinking about how you want to utilize the non-member portal and the member portal, and then what accesses you want to grant to both of them. So for example, non-members, you have the messaging. And yes, I know, by the way, that this is something that we are looking at trying to fix because some people don't like the three dots. If you do just hover straight down, it is easy to get to. Here is my non-member welcome message. So I can come in here and I can update this information here. The strategy behind the non-member portal is to allow prospects in when they're doing events or when you're doing campaigns of some kind that you want to allow them in, or if you're doing free trials, you want to grant them access, but then they lapse, they then have access as a non-member. It's basically for prospecting. So I always recommend, and I said this in my previous videos, that for events, you want to allow non-member access because then you can give them messaging like this. So what are the benefits? And here are a couple of our memberships that you can join. And you can have everything right in the portal for them to be able to do that. So when I go to the non-member portal, which I have opened in my incognito window, they can see the non-member portal version of it. And so right in here, they can click this and then become a member and fill it out. Now, the one thing I will mention is that when a non-member that is in your system goes to complete the application, it's going to say, they get a message that says, hey, your email is in our system. And then they're going to get an email in their inbox to complete the application. So it verifies that they are who they say they are. So just something to be aware of. There is that step in there. You limit the access that they see. So they see a different welcome message, they can see different banners, and they can see different items in the menu. So these are all public menu items that are available for them. A member view is different. So if I again go up here, they get a different message. They get more of a how-to guide of how to do certain things within the member portal itself. And so I've embedded just little how-to videos directly into the welcome message, so they're easily accessible. Some people put these as hyperlinks instead, which you can do. You can add different images, or some people even put all of their sponsor images with links to the sponsors right within the welcome. There's lots of capabilities. You just have to have a little bit of creativity. If you ever are like, how do I do this? Ask us. I love talking about how people are utilizing the member portal and what different things that they are doing with it. So please always ask if you are trying to do something different with it, or if you're just like, hey, is this possible? We can always try it out together. So back within we did the non-member message. And as I showed you, there is also the welcome message, same functionality. If you're looking to add images into here, there's a couple things that I always like to point out. So for images, you want to make sure that when you're clicking this image option or the file option, that you're on show media. So show media is for your images, so your PNGs and your JPEGs. I recommend PNG, it is the best format to use. And then your files are if you want to connect a file for people to be able to view. So sometimes people put it just so it's upfront and very visible and a really clear call to action is maybe their AGM meeting review from what that was discussed or new policies or things along those lines. Because the welcome message, you can consistently be adjusting and evolving as you're growing or as things are coming up. You can always add to it. So you just want to make sure that when you come in here, you are making sure that you grab the correct image, and then you can simply just add it in. If you need to change the size, double click it. Always make sure this is locked, and then you can adjust the size to the size that you need it to be. And so it will appear correctly where you need it. And then you can click on it again and do a hyperlink and send it to a new window if you don't want it to open up within that window. Those are different things that you can do whenever you see this editor. You can remove styling, add different fonts, formattings, and font styles that we have within the system, add hyperlinks, anything along those lines. So I'm just going to simply remove this one because we don't want to save it. And we're going to go back into member portal settings and talk about customizing your menu. You can create a custom member portal option. So they can come in, and so I could just say this is for M365 is the name I'm going to give it. And then I could have it actually go, I can grab the link for member365.com because you need the HTTPS. And I can put it in here. And then I can save it. And now that I've saved it, and I go to the portal, you can then see that it's available here. So we have them set to default, but Member365 can adjust these labels on your behalf. So normally it says job bank. We just put it to jobs. We have switched continuing education to CEU, learning management or training to LMS. You can adjust these if you want. A lot of associations sometimes switch workspaces to be communities or discussions, or they actually use committee or workspaces for their committees instead. So that language is adjustable. You just have to submit it as a ticket. You have to give us the language it currently is to the language you want it to be, and then we can make those updates for you. All right, so that is, and then also let's talk about the permissions. So member portal permissions for non-members is the option that is just down here. So again, what I always like to do is at a bare minimum, having it set for events. Because again, it allows them to go in, register for the event at a non-member price. It gets them saying like, hey, you have this cool portal. And then you're listing all the benefits, and then you have the ability for them to join right there. If you don't want to put the join there, you can always go to your join now page on your website. But you can restrict things so that it's only available. And also, if you have that custom link, you can also make it so that it isn't available and it's only available to members as a member benefit, because it might go to a third-party vendor that you are a partner with. One of the new things that is beta and actually was released about 20 minutes ago is the portal customization. So as some of you may have saw when you were in the member portal, again, I'll go over to my other one. I've changed the background color. So it's a little bit more blue, and you can customize now the color codes. Again, this is in beta. So if anyone comes in and makes adjustments and they see anything, let us know right away. But I was just simply playing around with the background color. But you can do breadcrumbs, you can do all your headers, you can do your navigation bar. The number one thing, though, you want to be careful about is clashing colors. You want to make sure that it's simple, it's clean, and that it looks pretty. There has been a couple times where I've had some of our team testing things and I was blinded and I couldn't even see the menu. So if something like that does happen, there is this beautiful thing when you come down to the bottom, you can reset to default. So you can return everything to default and save it. So if you are playing around with the different options, you can always just reset it back if you want to. And if you have any questions about it, let us know. We're more than happy to have discussions or ideas and your feedback would be great. Again, it is just a beta release, but you all have been granted access today to be able to go around and play in there. All right, so we've gone through each of the items within the setup, except for the last one, which is profile control. So you do have the ability to make it so that there is limited, so people cannot edit certain information. You have the ability to control this for when they go into my account in the member portal, they're limited. So if you don't want them updating their email address, they have to come to one of you as an administrator to do so. You can restrict that, but it's completely up to you on if you need to do that or want to do that, but it is an option that is available. Okay, so now let's go into the member portal itself and let's talk a little bit about badges. All right, so we talked about the nav bar, we talked about the banner, we talked about the welcome messages. So let's talk about badges. So this is another area that you can customize. And again, I've seen some people do some really beautiful things with this space. It's really easy to do. A lot of people use this for advertising or sponsorships because you can give a sponsor its own badge. Any of the links can go to their website or what they're offering. It's a great way to support your sponsors. People have included them in their sponsor event packages for their conferences for so many months because you can publish an expiration date on all the badges. You can even turn them on or off. So if they're seasonal or not, you can adjust them. You can limit them. Some of these could be only for members, and then you can have non-member ones as well. Let's simply go and create one together. And we're going to do a volunteer one. And one thing that I am going to point out is I'm going to actually put my image for the content within the content area. I'm not going to use the background image. And the reason for that is the background image is for if you have content, it only expands for the amount of content that you have. If you don't have any content, the image does not appear whatsoever. So if you're trying to do a promotion with like a poster or something like that, you want to put that image within the content itself. So I'm going to upload the file that I created earlier today. I just made a volunteer program, again, Canva, and we'll go find it. Volunteer program. There we go, insert. So I can have it in here. Again, I can adjust it. I just want it to be around 700 wide. It will auto adjust. You just want to be careful not having something too long. I don't recommend going single width. I always go full width for advertising or for big promotions. Single width is automatically set for your renewal reminders, any invoices in the system that they have to pay, anything along those lines. You can hide the header if you don't want the header to appear, which will be whatever you put in as the name. And then you can also change the background color. So you can always just make it white, or if you have a different color that you'd like to use, you can. Setting the publication date, so you can have it published on a specific date and then end, or you can simply manage it manually. So now I didn't set any parameters to that. So now right now it's visible to everyone within the portal. Now this volunteer program might be for only members. So it's automatically added to the carousel over here. As I go through, it's going to appear at the end because it's the last one. So there is the one that we just added. But I may want to restrict this to being a members only benefit. As being part of the member base, they're allowed to be part of the volunteer program. Non-members are not accepted. So to do that, I need to go back in to my badge. And I need to come over to this tab that says access. And then I can limit it to specific membership categories that I have within the portal or within my system, or just one. If I have nothing checked off, it's limited. Everyone can see it. I'm going to hit save, and that's going to update. You can also make it the first image. You can use the arrows here to move it around if you want to. So you can move it up or down. You don't have to. If you want, you can leave it at the end. You can turn certain ones on or off at any time, as I mentioned earlier. So renewal badges will always appear first. They're always the default because you're encouraging your members to renew. And I have 2 membership categories that I need to renew at this time on my membership. And there it is. So there I can have it. I can even add a link so this goes to wherever it needs to go. And there you go for badges. So every time, whenever you need to make any member portal adjustments, you have to have admin permissions to do so. So if you don't see it in this menu, then you need to go to your admin manager to get access. And if you go into the member portal and don't see the ability to manage badges, then you don't have admin permissions for the member portal. And then you have to go to the admin manager to make sure you have those permissions. But again, this is where you can come in and make those adjustments on the back end to be able to see within the member portal. All right. So let's go over some best practices and then I'll get to questions because I see there's quite a few. And thank you for those. So first best practice is provide clear call to actions. So whether it's in your welcome message or in your badges, whatever you're promoting or trying to get your members to do, whether it's update their profile information, just make sure it's really clear and you have it linked so that they can easily access that. We do have the renewal badges right front and center for them. So that's already taken care of for you. Create a beautiful banner, beautify your member portal. If you need help with it or if you want to brainstorm, I'm always available. I love it. I love being creative. I love seeing what you guys do. How we created the little videos that I had within the portal was actually from a client's very, very in-depth how to knowledge base frequently asked questions that they had. So we kind of drew out some of them. If you want copies of those, I can give them to you. So I do have generic ones and I'm always adding to them. So if you would like some of the generic ones, I will actually create a knowledge base where you can grab the embed codes. So you can use the generic ones on your website for your members as well. Customizing your welcome message, as we were just saying, adding those videos, making sure that you have a non-member message versus a member message. Think of prospecting for your non-members, having sure that you allow members non-member portal access when you're doing events to try and do that conversion. All right, let's go into questions. So, is it hard to access the main button when you hover over it, three dots? Yeah, sometimes, yes, we are aware that some people are having difficulty and we are looking for a better solution with that page. I appreciate all feedback. If you have a suggestion, please submit it for if you think of a way that's easier, because some of the items have more than one, which is why we have to have it as a drop down. Do you have any instructional video? Do we have any instructional videos available for our member portal? Something similar to, yes. So as I said, I do have generic. So the ones that I have in the member portal right now if I go back in here. And again, one thing I will emphasize is make sure you have a staff membership for all of your administrators for testing purposes. So when you log into the member portal, you see the member portal. So these videos are generic. I can't provide them for you. Again, I will put them in a knowledge base article with the embed code so you can embed them into your site just like I've done here. Some other people actually put them as a workspace and then link to the workspace. So you could do either or, but yes, I will make those available for you. If the preview feature for the member portal customization, there is not, but that is a cool idea. I love it. I will provide it to Colin and our development team. Thank you. Can you add an image to automate badges for renewals? An image. I don't know. We can't add automated images for renewals. Are you looking to have like like the image badge, the member badge maybe appear for the renewals? I'd love to know more about that. If you want to message me or I'll message you because I'd love to know more about what you're trying to look to do with that. Somebody asked if we are recording. Yes, we are, and it will be posted on YouTube, so you will be able to have access to it. Is it possible to set up a test portal to try out something without affecting the member portal currently in operation? Ooh, no. If you make updates within the system, it is live. However, if you're doing badges you can hide so that only staff members can see it. If there's something specific, if you want to do like a trial run, we could set you up with a trial account message me if that's something you're interested in. We can create like a trial account for you, and then you can just move it over. Just be careful. What type of template are you using for the banner to get the correct sizing? I just went, when I went to create this, I went and I did custom. So I went design and I just did custom. I do this a lot for helping other clients when they're having difficulties with banners. So I just put in the specifications that I want, and there isn't a template with that specific specifications, unfortunately. All right, I think that's all the questions. If you have more, again, I love questions. So please send them over. We love answering them. We love your feedback. Everything that we've done so far is based off of that. So please keep it coming. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye for now.